Hello everyone, this is Pathak and you're watching my channel. Today I will talk about cardiac cycle, which is a new topic for all of you. You can also follow my Instagram account, which is Healthcare for You Forever, and it is mentioned on the slide. And let's get started with this particular presentation. I hope you really like this video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe my channel. So before going towards cardiac cycle, let's get to know about the structure of the heart. So heart is made up of four chambers. The upper two chambers of the heart are called auricles, and they are sometimes also called atria. The lower two chambers of the heart are called ventricles. The heart wall is made up of three layers. The outer layer of the heart wall is called the epicardium, the middle layer of the heart wall is called the myocardium, and the inner layer of the heart wall is called the endocardium. So these are the three layers of the heart wall. The heart consists of four walls. First one is the aortic wall, which prevents the black flow of the blood when it is pumped from left ventricle to the aorta. The mitral wall prevents the backflow of the blood when pumped from left atrium to the left ventricle. This valve is also known as bicuspid valve. The pulmonary valve prevents the backflow of the blood when it flows from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. And the tricuspid valve prevents the backflow of the blood when it is pumped from right atrium to the right ventricle. The arteries carry the blood rich in oxygen from heart to different parts of the body. The pulmonary artery, being an exception, carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for purification. The veins carry impure blood from different parts of the body to the heart for oxygenation. However, the pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood to the heart. The human heart is situated to the left of the chest and is enclosed within a fluid-filled cavity described as the pericardial cavity. The walls and the lining of the pericardial cavity are made up of a membrane known as the pericardium. So pericardium is basically a membrane, okay, that protects the heart. Okay, it's an outside membrane that protects the whole heart. When it comes to the walls, outer layer of the heart, the middle layer of the heart, and the inner layer of the heart. These three are different layers of the heart wall, whereas the pericardium is the membrane enclosing the heart. So here's the diagram. As you can see that there's a right atrium and right ventricle, and there's a left atrium and left ventricle. Okay. So what happens is that deoxygenated blood enters into the right atrium through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, so when deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium contracts. When it contracts, the blood flows into the right ventricle. Okay, when the blood flows into the right ventricle contracts, and what happens is the pulmonary valve gets opened up and the blood flows through the pulmonary artery and it goes to the lungs for purification. Okay, so this is the first part of the cycle. Okay, then the second part of the cycle is after the blood gets oxygenated, it enters into the heart through pulmonary vein. Okay, through pulmonary vein, it enters into the heart to the left atrium. When it enters into the left atrium gets contracted and it enters into the left ventricle through bicuspid valve or the mitral valve. Okay. Then when the blood enters in the left ventricle, it then goes to the aorta. Okay. And aorta supplies this particular oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. And when the blood flows from left ventricle to the aorta, aortic valve opens up so that there is a smooth flow of the blood from left ventricle to the aorta. Okay, and the blood flows to the aorta and it is then deposited to all parts of the body, all organs of the body. Now these valves are really very important: tricuspid valve, bicuspid valve, pulmonary valve, and aortic valve. These valves, they get opened up whenever there's a flow of blood, and then they get closed automatically so that there's no backflow of the blood, so they prevent the black flow of the blood. I hope you have understood the full process. Okay, so I have already told you the whole cardiac cycle. So let's see the sequence of the events. Cardiac cycle refers to the sequence of events that takes place when the heart beats. The complete cycle takes about zero point 0.8 seconds, and you can see that zero point 0.8 seconds is a very small time. It's a very less time, and heart does both the cycles. It completes both the cycles in zero point 0.8 seconds. Okay, so it consists of two periods, one during which heart muscles relaxes and refills with blood called diastole, following a period of robust contraction and pumping of the blood called systole. So diastole is a relaxation period and systole is the contraction period. First cycle, the deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body enters in the right atrium through superior and inferior vena cava. The right atrium contracts and blood enters the right ventricle after the tricuspid valves open. The right ventricle contracts and blood flows to the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery distributes the blood to the lungs so that it gets oxygenated. And after the tricuspid valves open, they get closed automatically after delivering the blood to the right ventricle so that there is no backflow of the blood. Now comes the second cycle. The oxygenated blood from pulmonary veins enter to the left atrium. It enters into the left ventricle after the bicuspid valves open. The left ventricle contracts and the blood flows to the aorta. Aorta distributes the blood to the all parts of the body. Okay, and again in this case as well, bicuspid valves they get closed so that they prevent the backflow of the blood. And in both the cycles, aortic valve and the pulmonary valve, they also play a huge role in preventing the backflow of the blood. So this is the animated image of the heart, which is showing the pumping of the heart. Okay, and it takes place in just zero point 0.8 seconds. Okay, and heart, and this is a very beautiful thing. I hope you really like this video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Stay safe and healthy.